Good morning, quirky birders, and welcome to episode 2 of your daily art challenge. So yesterday we worked on our lovely blues and greys with just a hint of green just in the sea. Today again we're still working light to dark, but we're going to be working with the greens and the yellows. So we're going to be putting in a little bit of detail for the garden. And then we're also going to be working in the background on this hill. So in my palette I've got a little bit of lemon yellow, and then I've also got a little bit of peak green that I've mixed with a little bit of the lemon yellow, just to give it a little bit of a warmer tone. So again, still working light to dark, so we just want to have a nice light wash. I'm just going to put a little bit of the yellow just closer to the house, and I'm just going to build this colour up in a sort of fairly loose manner. Again, still allowing that paper to come through, so just keeping the lovely highlights of the white of the paper. And then we'll add in a little bit of the green. Again, just keeping it nice and loose. You can blur those edges, so you can blur that lovely green into the yellow. And then just wet your brush and just manipulate that paint just around that lovely foreground. Like so. And we're going to do exactly the same along the hill. So again, we're just going to apply a little bit of yellow. Coming right along the top. And again, just allow that paper to bleed through. Put a little bit of green on there as well. Just keep it nice and loose. Just come all the way down. Like so. So once you've got your lovely green and yellow tones in both the hill behind the cottage, and also you've got it here in the foreground. What we can now start to do is start to build up some of the details on the design. And I'm going to go back first to the window here. So again, I'm going to be working with that Payne's grey. So you just want to have a nice light wash of that Payne's grey. Again, don't forget you can lighten it if you want to, so you can apply a little bit more white. And all I'm going to do is just paint in the windows. But again, I'm just going to allow that paper to work for me. And just leave a couple of little highlights. Like so. And with that stronger mix of the Payne's grey now, we can start to add in a few more details to our cottage. So to begin with, I'm just going to add in a little bit of detail to the doorway. So just using that darker colour. Just going to lift away some of that excess paint. So with a dry brush, and then again we can work along the ridge line of the house just to put a little bit of darker detail along there. Again, still working from the right hand side of the painting, under the chimney breast. Going to wet my brush and just manipulate that paint further across. Like so. I'm just going to pop in a little bit of black to that Payne's grey. And then with the darker colour, I'm just going to put a little bit of detail on the tops of the chimney pots. Just keeping it again, just nice and light. We shall be adding in the ink details again as usual. So I'll pop a little bit of detail along the top of the roof of the porch and just come down ever so slightly. like so. Now what we can do is, using that Payne's grey, mix in a little bit of brown again to your grey, so you just end up with that lovely sort of almost like a sludgy colour really. And it's this colour that we can then use to just put in some of the fence line details. So making sure that your grass is actually dry. You can just work your way along and just pop in a couple of the fence posts. Again, still working wet, light to dark, sorry, not wet. So just put in that fence post all the way along. And we'll just put a couple just along the top of the cliff there. And then some more along the side of the house. Like so. I'm just going to pop just one here, just on the edge. Going back up each individual post just to one side, just to give that little extra line of shading. Okay, so I think that's it for today. So we've just put in the boundary and detail of our grass in the foreground at the side of the cottage. We've put in some of the details on the cliff there, and we've also added in some darker shading to the roof and the porch and the front opening of that little porch. So that's it for episode 2. Tomorrow we're going to be working on some trees and applying in a little bit of bushes, and then Thursday we will be excuse me, Thursday we'll be adding in the final little bits of detail before we do the ink details on Friday. I hope you're enjoying this process. I'm around if you have any questions at all. Please do not hesitate to message me, and I shall see you all again tomorrow. Goodbye.